Hello, hello. Oh my God, what is going on out there, twins? What are you guys doing? How are you feeling? You feeling the resonance of
feel that?
All that massive frequency that Mother Earth has been going through the last 2 or 3 days now?
Are you triggered?
Yeah. Are you
I've got milk.
In every space of existence and every emotion or vision or feeling that you could imagine?
You feeling some type of way right now?
Are you?
You is your eye twitching yet?
Oh, we're getting in the dark. We need to get the light. Oh, really? Is
that how it happens?
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
Oh my goodness. So, what were we just talking about?
Releasing energy.
Oh, releasing ourselves, releasing our feelings.
The best.
Can you get by a light?
So that we can, or here.
I can just turn this on. Never mind. We're good. We got this. That's a
you
bit much though.
Just ball of energy.
Yeah, I know. All right, so releasing emotions.
Yeah, so you were talking about like having things up and feeling. Okay, there's a lot of things that people get in this world called like depression, anxiety, and they're confused, all of this kind of shit, and that feeling that eats inside you, right? That heart beating, palms sweating. Jesus, like it literally just sucks. You want to curl up in a ball and just not talk to anybody type feeling, right? We're here to tell you that you have to release that shit, right? And it's funny because certain people, in my perspective, the things that I've seen, some people take that release as negative. They take it all depends on their perception, right? Because there's no right or wrong way to release it in a sense. Releasing that energy you need to do it because it's actually a health benefit. Letting that sit and build up, it's like you're imploding.
Yeah.
Right? And that energy can be done through anything. Like you could be a bad guy, like you could be an evil fucking dude and still get that energy. And the only way for you to get rid of that energy is like, I'm not saying do this, but like to go beat somebody up because you're a bad dude, but you gotta release it. Not saying don't do that. I'm just giving you a different way. But if you're a good person and you're eating at you because somebody's on your nerves or you're trying to focus because you got to get this going, but somebody's making a little ticking noise and it's like eating at you and you want to say it, like you got to say it. Like otherwise you're going to hold it in and you're going to keep building up this ball of negative energy that just doesn't sit well and you're going to remember it. You're going to get this is what builds up that negative energy.
Yeah.
It builds you up your mindset. It builds you up to be like, fuck this dude.
Well, we were talking about releasing energy or releasing ourselves because last year I learned, yeah, there we go. Hi. Last year I learned expressing myself. I grew up a tomboy and I could express myself on this is what I feel, but when it came to the certain things, but when it came to personal things like my emotions, getting what I really felt inside when it came to personal interactions out, I would just hold it in, and so it started to create disease literally inside of me. Disease. So I was getting ulcers, infections, cysts, all these different things, and so I finally started to let go and let it out and communicate. Because every problem that I ever had in my life was because there was a lack of communication. And I realized that last year. And so he can feel it anytime that I get to a point where I don't let it out. Because I still fall back into that prior behavior, that prior habit. I did it my whole life.
That's the reason why everything in my life, I just said it earlier, everything that has ever failed or broken down or just went the wrong way, every single time, 100% of those issues were lack of communication.
Yeah.
And it's not just lack of communication within the team and the aspect of that, it's lack of communication within yourself.
Yeah.
Saying it.
Oh, God.
That's what it is. It's not,
yeah.
And that's why I just had that revelation. It's just like, it's not a lack of communication between every single person. It's a lack of communication within yourself as well.
Yeah.
If you don't talk, if you don't speak up, that feeling It's gonna stay at you. That's why when you say what that's on your chest, why does it go?
Yeah, you feel good.
Like it feels good. Like that's what happens when you speak up, when you say something.
Yeah, and you release yourself from the
negative ball of energy.
Yeah, and the thing is that we as a society, as the humans that we are, even though we're more than that, we also have to be able to coexist in a space where we can release to each other without there being a judgment on the other side, without there being anything on the other side, where we can a society that can be 100% truth. Because we were talking earlier, I have a hard time with communication because I'm very direct, I'm very forward, and I'm very passionate, so I it just comes out that way. And he's more I
like to kind of keep it like I'm the equalizer, not in a way where I'm gonna end this and that. I like to keep the peace. So I look at both scenarios and I like to talk sense to make people think. I like to speak. Whatever she tries to say, sometimes because she's so direct, I tell her to say it, but then ask a question for feedback, make people feel more involved,
or he explains to me,
the,
or he asks me questions about what I'm saying to see if I even understand, or not understand, but if I'm even saying what I'm seeing. Because sometimes I have a lapse between my vision and what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed with all of the massive energy, high frequency that's been going on the last 2 to 3 days right now, everything I've been feeling in every direction of creation, as I was saying.
It's been a very interesting 2 to 3 days.
And I felt, because these things just I kept holding them in instead of letting them out. And I started feeling felt like an ulcer in my stomach.
It's a pit.
It was literally hurting. I was in physical pain from not expressing myself. And so that's why we wanted to make this video, because it's important that we get to a place of understanding as humanity where we can just be truthful as fuck with each other. And it not be taken in a way of offense or defense. We all have to get to that point, and myself included, because we, by default of programming, listen to respond, not listen to hear and help you hear yourself. He mastered that.
Yeah, it's something I've dealt with. But it's funny because we were just talking about, like, we just pulled up here, as you just saw. We were just driving in, and we were just saying, like, that feeling you get after saying what's on your chest, like. And I'm like, imagine a world where everybody didn't have to worry about that, and the only way to do that is to speak the truth.
Yeah, the truth is how we set ourselves free.
The truth, there is no inside. Yeah. The moment you don't say anything about the truth, or you defer from the truth, that's when you start getting the feeling.
That's when we get triggered.
It's you avoiding truth.
Yes,
causing dis-ease in your system, in your vessel. Hence, why people tend to actually get sick a lot in this world. They're stressed, they have anxiety. Think about the people at their jobs that hate their work. They don't like it. The truth that they're hiding from is understanding that they don't like this, and they like to do other things and love other things, but they're not staying true to themselves. That's still truth.
We were talking about how, could you imagine if we were in that world where we just freely spoke, and then you hear the truth. Imagine if you're in a room of people, and somebody's got something. Somebody's thinking something, but it's not being said. There's an elephant in the room that's hiding and nobody's saying anything. Imagine if everybody was saying those things. What if we were doing that constantly,
worked as a collective,
to align ourselves with our highest self instead of hiding from saying it, because our programming has taught us to not communicate, to be separated, to judge each other, to be offended by each other, to separate ourselves from each other, to not communicate.
We've been taught that, and it's not even. We've been taught to do that, not directly as in saying, don't say anything. It's through environments. It's
The
through
entire
people-to-people
environment,
interaction.
yes.
It's the fear that they're using to get people to get to this point.
Yes.
That's it. They're scaring you to death.
Yeah.
Literally.
And scaring you to division.
Yeah. Separation.
We are, I am.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a collective. We're all the same
were
consciousness.
every construct, this is the funny part, every idea that we ever got from the first moment of the inception of I am, every thought from that point. Where did it go?
We were trickling.
Oh, was divided upon.
Yes. Like a cell.
So every construct was a division. So I am, and then I am male or female, and it divided. Then I am father, son, brother, mother, whatever.
Sister,
I am this religion. I am this belief. I am.
Each one
And it
was a
just
cell.
continued to divide itself. So the only way for it to come back from division into unity is to go back to I am,
True.
without construct and speaking truth.
That's the only way to get back to it, is to speak truth. Because words are spells, but we're not necessarily supposed to be using words.
Yeah,
we're
words
supposed
are
to be
very-
using body language and
Yeah.
tell telepathy. Like, that's supposed to
Could
be a
you
normal
imagine?
thing.
I'm seeing so many different things. Could you imagine? Okay, so we were talking earlier about spell it out. Words are spells.
Words
Could
are
you
spells.
imagine?
Why'd they tell you spell it
Can
out?
you imagine if we weren't speaking though, we would not be spelling. If we were not speaking, we would not be spelling.
We would have
So
been
then
more
we would-
advanced.
So where do we go from? What is that point? That's where my mind is going right now. Where you're not speaking. You're telepathic, yes, but you're not constructing. And from construction is limitation. You're forming something that has limitation from construction. So if you are not spelling, you are not constructing. If you are not constructing, you are not limiting.
Yep. Where do you think they got spelling from? I think I know.
What?
When they were depicting what was the first thing that we know to history was the first thing found of human intelligence? Pictures. They drew what they saw. It wasn't words. It wasn't, I saw an elephant today. There was none of that. They saw this thing that in their eyes, and they painted it. Everything was pictures. It was all just this. Hieroglyphics are the same thing.
Yeah, it's all the
Pictures.
same.
It wasn't words. It was pictures. And by that, we then somehow, through history,
Then we
developed
visualize
words,
open source
letters,
visualization.
sounds for each one. And those sounds, if you understand yourself, are spells.
Open self visualization without construct leads to lack of limitation.
Yep.
So if we're visualizing and feeling without construct, it's open source and never ending.
Nothing is deemed stupid. It's creativity at its finest. It's the universe at work.
And even language is a division of itself.
Universe doesn't have
Let's
constructs,
speak
just
so
goes.
we can understand each other more, but yet every word has a million meanings and levels of perception, so we misunderstand each other more.
Yep. Words are just here to dumb us down. Think about that.
Oh my
Words
God.
are here to dumb us down.
Ah.
That's why I think, I don't want to say dumb it down, but like we've been taught a language that is actually illiterate. English.
Yeah.
English is illiterate as fuck. It is so slangish. It is slangs off of other languages. Like if you go get a speeding ticket right now in America,
It's like
you
the
can't
roach
even read
bug
it.
or the shrimp of the ocean.
Yeah, like if you got a speeding ticket, you got to go to court. All the things are on there. Ever noticed how proper the words are, how direct they are? It's because law, the words, they mean what they mean.
Yeah.
There's no other meaning for the word that comes
Now
out of it.
imagine if we actually did communicate that way, if we were using words. But even with using words,
But
we're
people
still
would be like, "Oh,
building
it's a boring
construct."
world. That's a boring area. You got to make it
No,
different."
it's like
That's what people
this is
say.
what with anything that I've ever done, I would always be like, I don't want a small chat.
No small talk.
Yeah,
Let's just talk like
let's
truth.
get to the point here. Let's
The beef and
let's
beans.
not spend. That's one thing I love about I think it's Arabic.
Arabic.
It's they speak to the point. They get rid of the fat in the sentence. They get rid of the majority of the words and get right to the point. And that's,
every language does that except English.
if we did that, that's a
I
way
think.
to go back. It's
Not sure.
it's a way to go back from so much division.
Yeah.
It's a way to dial in the focus.
We just gotta hone in on understanding ourselves and our energy. Like,
Refining.
shit, we can literally. How is it that you can read body language? How is it that sometimes you know what somebody's gonna say before they even say it? Because you're reading their body. You can see it in their head. Maybe there's a slight tilt.
But are
Maybe there's
you
a slight
reading their
eyebrow.
body though? Because
Or you're
anytime
reading
I've
yours.
ever read a body was because I read my own body
You're
in that body.
mirroring. You understand. Well, here's the thing though, like, because I would make certain ways. It does make sense. And then there's some people that would say, well, it's because I watch people, and it's like, you watch people, but now you do it. So because you're able to do it. The best way I learned myself, I used to do a lot of videos. I used to do a lot of Facebook Lives. So I know what I look like when I make certain faces. Like, I literally know.
Yeah, I used to
Like,
position for the pictures.
So when I
and
see
all-
somebody
yeah.
else doing it because I've watched myself,
Yeah,
that's actually a really
it's
good way to do it.
identifiable.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. That's what you guys should do. Start
Yeah.
fucking recording yourself. So start making videos and see
Yes.
what you do. Like right now, I'd probably look back on this and be like, this is where I figured out. This is what I look like when I'm smiling. So when I
Yeah.
see somebody that energetic with this type of voice and this type of tone, I know they're really excited because I'm the same type of way right now.
Yeah.
So that's the best way. And by also watching other people, you eventually be able to, it's actually like code. You can read somebody.
Yes.
Sometimes you
We
ever
could
see
be
a-
in the gym and I could be standing behind somebody watching them on the treadmill and hear their thoughts and see what kind of personality and characteristics they have just by how they walk.
Oh, I do it.
It could be just walking down the road.
Oh,
It's
I can
like, or how you color a picture. Like these simple things that you always find yourself in there, and that's where you find everything else.
It's crazy how we
It's
Can
it's
literally
crazy how
read
it's
people.
it's everything but nothing. It's without but within. It's up but it's down. It's not but it is.
the yin and the yang type shit. It is, but it's not. But it's not, but
That's
it is.
what it isn't.
That's what it is. It's not.
It's yeah. So
There's
all right,
so many
so
different parallel universes to that.
yeah, but yeah, that was
Release
our,
your feeling. Let's go back to the topic.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
We
you
went
do.
way. We get
but it's like Inception.
It's
It's like
perfect.
everything leads
Yes.
to it, and then it all comes back.
yeah.
to making sense.
I think we had
So
a perfect
all that makes
conversation.
sense. Like you need to go back
Yeah.
and understand everything we just said is a derivative of you just speaking truth. Just speak the fucking truth, and that feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach will disappear. Gone.
Oh my god.
You won't have to fucking worry. You'll be happier.
Yeah.
Go if you hate your boss. Guess what?
And if you're
Go tell your boss. Go fuck himself.
yeah, and
Guess
if
how
you're
much better you feel,
around-
even if you get fired. You'll feel so much better.
yeah, I know. And that's where you find your tribe. Like if I was to express myself in any form, he completely understands and sees through the veil of what my expression is. He
I know.
completely
I've
understands
mastered body language.
where my heart is. He completely understands why I say everything I say. He understands what my intentions are behind anything that I do. I don't even remember where I was going with that, but you're just amazing.
Stupid.
You're so amazing. I love you.
She abuses me with kind words every day. It's horrible.
It calls him stupid.
Calls me stupid but laughs at me and then says I'm incredible. It's oh, this is such a hard time for me. But I'm saying it because it feels good because I'm releasing it. Stay true to yourself.
Yeah. Peace.
Deuce.